Here we are. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Cringe versus BelleStack S2 for the Clarity League Division 1, the lower bracket finals as well. Whoever manages to take this game will push themselves into the grand finals to go up against Madsen's team next week. So it's all to play for now. Do or die situation. And we'll see how these guys are going to start it off. This is actually the second time that these two teams have fought each other in the group stages. There was actually time they played, and BelleStack actually took the series 2-1. So it wasn't a convincing smash 2-0 clean wipe. So it was contested then, so I'm sure we're going to get a good show today as well. Let's see if Cringe maybe learned some lessons from that previous series. Gonna do some different bans and stuff, know how to play around it. We'll have to wait and see. They did actually start with removing the Lena as well as the Spirit Breaker. The Lena is actually the most picked hero coming out for BelleStack, so it just makes sense. They played it 6 times and they've won every single game with it in this league, so perfect sense to take it out. You just don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. Spirit Breaker's only been picked up a couple of times, but even still, if there is someone who knows how to play it and they play it, they are very annoying, which I do believe was actually Mikkel. Watched one of his games, I can't remember if it was last week or the week before. I think it was last week. And yeah, the man was just really annoying on this hero. He was just everywhere, setting up kills, being a pain in the arse. So, very wise ban on that. But BelleStack, given these first sets of bans real consideration, already chewed up nearly a full minute of the reserve time, they've all actually decided to take out the Doozer. Quite an interesting choice. Don't normally see the hero get picked up that early, or that banned that early on. Very rare that he gets first phase, unless it's like a super important hero for either the playstyle, what the team's going for, or there's a person on that team who is an absolute demon on this. So, I'm just going to make sure they don't see it this game, though. Makes fair enough. They do decide to actually pick up the Earth Spirit, which is just standard position 4. Position 4 support, able to just set up for several ganks into the mid lane and be a real nuisance for the opposing middle laner. But there is a chance that it could go into the position 3. I can't remember who it was. There was actually a Clarity League player who loves to play position 3 Earth Spirit. I don't think it is on this team. I don't believe so. I could be wrong, and it could get picked up, but we'll have to wait and see. So BelleStack gone in with the Void Spirit and the Clockwork as their first 2 picks here. And Cringe actually respond by going with the Death Prophet. So this is already looking like the mid lane matchup has been secured. And I think Cringe are going to be happy with this, because obviously Death Prophet, you can chuck down the Soul Siphon onto the Void Spirit. And even if he uses Dissimulate, it actually still drains you whilst you're in it. So it's kind of difficult to escape sometimes. So maybe the Void could struggle a little bit in the early parts of the laning phase. Well, they have also grabbed, with the support of the Clockwork, can either be the 4 or the 5. Sometimes, most of the time you see it as a more greedy 4 role. And once he hits that 6, obviously, it's really easy for him to come and help out and gank. But it's going to be a long time before he hits that 6, so he's not going to be that much help for the Void in this mid lane. So it's going to have to be very, very careful about his position here. And we'll Cringe on the second set of bans, removing the Juggernaut as well as the Mars. And Lifesteal gets taken out there from BelleStack. A very diverse few sets of bans here. It looks like BelleStack are just mainly focused towards the position 1 of Cringe. They did do a little bit towards the mid there with the Kunkka ban, but obviously mid's already been picked up. Maybe they might then decide to ban out the Monkey King or something like that. There has been a carry that Cringe have rolled with in the past, but they do actually decide to remove the Snapfire instead. Always a solid position 5. I would assume it'd be position 5 anyway, seeing as how you got an Earth Spirit and a Death Prophet on your team. Like, it wouldn't really make sense to go in any other role besides that. They just make sure that doesn't get picked up. Cringe actually ban out the Puck. I suppose Puck's not too bad actually playing up against the Death Prophet. So just to take it out, just to guarantee that, the Void Spirit doesn't do a switcheroo. Chrysum does pulse 3 Spirit. Okay. Okay, so, alright, yeah. So that was the one that I saw last week then when I cast that game, and that's why I had it in the back of my mind. It was Chrysum, done it? Well, thanks for clarifying that, guys. I appreciate it. I knew I wasn't crazy. I just got the wrong team, but yeah, whatever. Close enough, right? Close enough. The Thunderman was actually Necrophos there from BelleStack. They're supposed to then just be position 3 Necro ban. Did not want to see that hero. They decided to actually go with the Bane pickup, so that is going to mean that this is going to be a 4 Clockwork into the off lane. Sometimes it's a relatively easy sort of hero to juke out. So maybe Cringe can have like quite a defensive lineup, but the Clockwork won't actually have that much to do in the lane. Just sort of be plodding around aimlessly, soaking up experience. If they just try and keep their range, not contest that much. What is going to be their next pickup though? They've already got their position 4, they've got their mid, so it's probably going to be their 5 and 3 that get picked up now. It looks like they've favoured the Tidehunter in the past, coming out from Cringe as their position 3. Maybe they might be leaning towards that, as it is actually still in the pool. And you can never really go wrong with Tidehunter pickup, can you? It's solid. No matter what happens, it's a solid hero. They've also played Dawnbreaker a few times. Not sure what position that was in though. Because Dawnbreaker's weird as hell, man. You just don't know where this hero is actually going to end up. People play it mid, people play it off lane, people play it 4 and 5. If you're Na'Vi and TI, you even play it as your carry. Didn't work out, but hey, they played it. You just don't know. You just do not know. But they are really thinking about this. They've already gone through half of their reserve time now, just for this initial pick alone. I mean, I think they're going to be secure that this is going to be a Void mid. Like, I mean, maybe if BelleStack really are afraid about matching the Void versus Death Prophet, they can make this into a position 3 and then pick something else up afterwards. In which case, Void Spirit Clockwork lane might not be too bad, to be honest. Because the Clockwork with the cogs should be able to set up for like Ether Remnant connections pretty easily. As long as it's placed properly and the Remnant doesn't just drag them out the cogs instead. That could be a real whoops moment. Well, I suppose that could work if they do want to change it around. But Cringe do decide to go for the Wraith King carry. I assume it's Wraith King carry, and it's not going to be some Clarity League shenanigans and someone plays this position 5. I hope not, but it's possible. Yeah, it's pretty damn solid to be the carry, right? I don't have to go too crazy about thinking about that.
Dyer's turn to pick.
And they go with the Darks here. So have they left the position 5 as the final pick, or are they going to play support Death Prophet? I know that was actually a thing in the meta quite a long time ago now, actually. I think it was nearly a year ago the last time I saw like Death Prophet position 5 spammed out. So I don't know. I think it is still going to be the mid. This would be the 4, the carry, the off lane. So they have just left their 5 as the final hero here. I suppose they'll get a bit of clarification what he's picking up into the lane, depending on what hero his BelleStack go with as the next pick. But they decide to go for the Invoker, so it is looking like this Void Spirit's going to get pushed into the off lane. So what do you want paired up then with this Wraith King versus a Void Clock? I mean, mind you, actually, versus those two heroes, the Death Prophet could be pretty legit. Like, if the Clock's running you down with Battery Assault or anything like that, the Death Prophet could just Soul Siphon him back, and then I think that trade actually then goes favourably towards her. So maybe they would actually feel quite comfortable making this a 5 now. And then pick something else up to match versus the Invoker in the mid. So on the side of BelleStack, just after their position 1 now, Tiny and Sven are the heroes that Cringe decide to remove first. It looks like BelleStack, they've gone with Spectre a couple of times before in the past. That's their like most picked carry after Juggernaut, but obviously the Jug's already been banned out. I mean, maybe they could actually go with a Monkey King carry Because it's looking like you're going to be playing against a dual melee lineup, the Doxer as well as the Earth Spirit. So getting those Jingu stacks online are going to be easy as hell. That can actually be quite a nice pickup for them. But Cringe do decide to go for the Bat. So then, yeah, they are doing a little switcheroo. Death Prop's going to be the 5. The Bat Rider will then be their mid lane hero going up against the Invoker.
10 seconds. 5 seconds.
We'll see if they can have the same sort of thinking. Yeah, I think Monkey King would be fine. I think it would work out. Okay, they're going to decide to go for the Faceless Void, so they do have that sort of mid to late game opportunity of the Chronosphere into the Cataclysm. It's always, you can always turn games around with that. It's sort of similar to like just having a big Ravage. No matter how far behind you are, if you land a 4-man Chrono with Cataclysm, you're probably going to end up winning the fight. So, going to be very, very cautious coming out from Cringe about their spacing, hero positioning. They don't want to just give away a load of free kills. Toxic semi-deny pick, very cool. And Kryson likes it. Lane with cock. Yeah. I think Dusk farming up against the Darkseer Earth Spirit, like, you'd probably be fine. I mean, maybe once they both hit level 3 and they've got 2 points into the Iron Shell and probably 2 points into the roll, then they can probably just make the Faceless Void's life quite miserable. So he's going to have to be a little bit careful, but obviously as a Faceless Void, you can always just time walk it off. But early levels, as you all know, the cooldown on that skill is really goddamn bad. So you can't just spam it willy-nilly and hopefully you just get away with it. So it's not going to be an easy lane for sure. But even so, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the first game between Cringe and BelleStack for the Clarity League lower bracket finals. As I said before, the winner will go on to play Madsen's team next week in the grand finals. And like I also said before, these two teams have played before in the past. Was a 2-1 advantage for Dusk in the group stages, so already got some history between these two teams. They sort of know how each play a little bit. Let's just see if Cringe has actually maybe learned some lessons. Got something to bring to this game. Already RC gets hit a little bit. Luckily for him, he did not place the ward. Otherwise, that would have been a real easy D ward. Someone calling cheaters. Click bang. Calling cheats. What's that all about? I don't know. These two know each other. No, they're here. Oh yeah, I don't think I mentioned it, but there is a 2-minute delay on the stream. Obviously, because I'm casting from lobby, so that's why I'll be delayed responding to anything. Oh, he's not actually... Cat's not killed any one of the heroes on the dire side.
The quest for ultimate
That's interesting.
glory
Don't normally see that very often. Unless he's only just bought the Arcana.
"30 seconds and counting."
I'm gonna have to try to remember both the team names during all of this game, because normally there's the logo or something that would remind me at the top on which side is which, but for some reason it's not loaded in. So I'm just gonna have to see the occasional picture of Belle doing a dab. What is this? Already the salt begins. The game has not even begun yet. But that doesn't stop people. Any opportunity they get, people are going to flame. It's just standard stuff. But we're not going to be treated to any sort of crazy first blood attempt in this game. Everyone's chilling. Going to default positions. I mean, RC still... Oh, Reese. I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Reese? I think someone told me that before rather than RCE. Okay. Ash TZ's pinging out thinking that the ward got placed there, pinged out, but it actually already got put up on that high ground. Ooh, just left the game. My bad. But yeah, just ends up being a 2 for 2 on the bounties. Nothing crazy there. We'll see how this mid lane ends up going. I think that it is slightly bat favored. Especially when they hit like that level 3 mark and he's able to push out Pompo just with the napalm spam. But I do like to see the fact that they started off the lane with a high five. You know, that's a good bit of sportsmanship. More people should do that. Encourages very good behavior in games. And then after you've done the high five, then you can start tipping and tilting people. As you're meant to. And this is the only problem with the position 5 Death Prophet is it's a very long cooldown. Especially in the early levels. I mean, even still, it's relatively similar to Battery Assault. Level 1, 24 seconds, and Soul Siphon 36, so it's just a little bit slower. But even still, every single time that the Soul Siphon's going to be up, it's going to be able to counteract. Actually, a little roll forward here from Reese onto Ash TC. Tried body blocking him out, but even still, it's only level 1 Iron Shell. The damage just not very substantial at this point in the game. And Ash TC is actually able just to walk it off. Time for now. In this mid lane. Pompo. Take a bit of a beat with the 4 stacks there, but even still, quickly pushes all the creeps back, which then stops Sarge from being able to just charge at him. Still pretty even between the two of them. 5-0, or 6-0 to Sarge to the 4-0 Pompo. But Sarge does also have the fact that he's got more creeps to actually finish up from the previous wave. So if he's able to secure a majority of these, he'll definitely have cemented a slight lead in this lane. And like the Invoker's got to be wary of the fact that he can just get ganked up from Reese on this Earth Spirit. It's one of the best heroes, the gank in the mid lane. You could just roll up out of nowhere, straight through the fog, and just completely annihilate the other person. So Pompo's always got to be keeping his eye on the minimap. Every single time the Earth Spirit disappears, he's got to be thinking about where he could possibly be. Still so far, Cats is not really doing too hot in the CS department. Only 4-0 right now. Especially when you compare him to the 9-4 of Dusk in the top lane. He's doing a little harassment there on Thrash Teasy. Yeah, having a little bit of a better time so far. Suffkin's actually had a few last hits himself. I suppose those are probably like just AoE ones when spamming the Crypt Swarm onto the onto Chrysler and Mikkel for harassment. That would be his excuse anyway when he secures loads of them. That's what I normally say in my pubs. He takes over the creeps like, oh, you know, just harassing. Don't blame me. It happens. Or you could say lane tax. That's also a good one.
You're dreaming.
Yeah. Very substantial lead being built up here from Sarge. 22-0 to the 11-0 of Pompo. Double his CS at the moment. I mean, some of those were the small neutral camp kills. So it's not like a huge chunk of gold extra that the Bat Rider has. But, I mean, it's definitely building up a slight lead. 200 gold so far, 4 minutes in. It's definitely been kept at bay. So Pompo's not doing too bad. They will both get a water rune each. But obviously, Sarge definitely prefers that. Seems how he's got his bottle. Oh, I missed that. But First Blood gets found down bottom. Mikkel actually able to take down Snufkin. It looks like he just got separated a little bit away from the side. They were just a poke and prod from afar. Snufkin just hit his 3 as well. I think if he had his 3 probably whilst that was going on, he might have been able to actually survive. He's actually gone for a 1-1-1 build. I thought maybe he might prioritize Spirit Siphon this early on just to help keep the two enemies' melees at bay. But hey, you know. I suppose if you manage to get a good initiation onto the Void Spirit, having that silence there can actually secure the kill. Just in case he has to simulate up and can possibly make some great escape. Oh, us Reese up top with the Surge. Maybe think about going for onto Ash Teasy there, but even still not going to go for it. Now they will actually. They get the point blank roll. They do find it. The 2 points into the Iron Shell. They suck him back into the both of them. It's a lot of damage. Still, Ash Teasy's barely able to survive. Reese, his Iron Shell's actually ran out, but he's not going to be able to finish off Ash Teasy. He's able to just hide himself in the trees with the salve. Keeps himself alive for now. Meanwhile, down bottom, Kel and Kryson able to apply a bit of pressure there onto Catsy Cat, who is still definitely just lacking behind a bit in the CS department. Oh, Kryson does get the pullback there, but he's underneath for tier 1. Now he just gets stunned in place. Maybe he's been off more than he could chew here. And he just gives away a free kill. Very, very ambitious kill attempt. With only 1 point into the dissimulate this early on, like, I think that was just doomed to failure. But sometimes when you see someone that low HP, you just can't help yourself. You want to go for it. Now Reese actually made his own rotation. And this is probably just going to be a freebie here onto the clockwork. Got the battery assault off, but I don't think it's going to make any difference. All the cogs pushes them both away. He's going to trap these cats. Maybe they turn around with the Inf Remnant. They get the kill. And Mikkel baits them all in. Actually gets the kill onto the carry. And now Bane's actually heading down to the bot as well. Maybe him and Kryson could find some sort of extra +1. They're not going to be able to. But even still, that's a fantastic trade there from BelleStack. They'll take that any day of the week. Still just farming up 660 gold, 760 gold, sorry, away from those boots of travel. And then he'll actually have the opportunity to maybe start setting up some ganks. Or at the very least start accelerating his own farms. Actually, I was going to look away. More action down bot. Reese actually ends up falling. There's 4 heroes from BelleStack all down at the spot lane. Nothing's going to fall next. And what is that for? Oh, it's actually a disconnect. Nothing's DC'd. When did he DC? That's the thing, like, did he literally just DC now? Or sometimes when actually you lose connection, the game doesn't notify straight away. So somebody's just sat there AFK for like a few seconds. Which might be very unlucky for Snufkin if that is the case. But even still, he is 100% dead. Maybe even Cap could fall here. The battery assault's finished. No E for the remnant for another 9 seconds. No chance to hold him back with Nightmare either. Actually, I think he's got a Cold Snap on him, so those will actually stagger him back a little bit. They should be able to find this kill onto the Wraith King. Actually, they've probably got enough sources of damage nearby to keep this Cold Snap going. I'm not quite sure how long of a duration this is left. I think that's probably like 2.5 seconds, something like that. So enough to get 2 or 3 more ticks on him. He does have 9 stick charges though, so it's going to be a very difficult kill to find. But it's not like Sarge can even really make a rotation down to the bot. His Firefly's on cooldown for another 10 seconds, so even if he comes, he's not going to be able to help out whatsoever. And Legbank, pretty much exactly the same situation. He's just got no mana to play with. So if he TP's down, he'll have 50 mana. Like, maybe after like a second or two, you'll be able to cast Vacuum, but that ain't going to be able to do shit. Yeah, I think there's no help for the Wraith King. He's going to have to juke himself out of the situation. Got to earn his right to be the position 1. Can he do it? I mean, despite the fact that all this is going on, there is still just a clear rift between the 2 mid laners for now. About 600 and a bit gold between the 2 of them at 7 minutes in. That's a fairly decent chunk. I'm not sure what the Invoker's got coming out on the current. Okay, he's got actually completed Urn. Unfortunately for him, all these kills are happening before the Urn actually gets delivered. So, not going to be able to secure any bonus charges here. And no one's actually said what sort of DC this is for Snufkin. Is he even online? I think I've got him on my friends list. Hang on, let me see if he's actually online or if his like whole internet has just completely died.
Your anger is useless here.
So what if I swagger?
If it's gonna load. The L Steam sometimes you're so slow. So slow. Yeah, Snufkin's actually still not even online. I think it's like His PC's died, or his whole internet has just completely dropped here. What's all this bants between the teams going on? I'm so fully understandable. Not really trying, and I'm winning. Really feel bad for you. Thoughts on laying the stage, Sofa Man. Earth Spirit griefing. Reese is bad. That's unfortunate. Even team calling you bad. Feels bad, man. That's a real feels bad, man. Still another 630 gold away for the boots of travel here for Sarge. Dusk. Got his Mask of Madness. That was a straight up rush for it as well. Just got like the basic magic stick, but wants to get that to start ramping up his farmer speed as much as he possibly can. Start causing a bit more of a gap between him and the Wraith King, who down bottom has definitely been suffering. Like this versus voice is 0-0-0 right now, not been touched whatsoever. Meanwhile, the Wraith King 0-1 and 2. Sure, he's got 2 assists, but this is most likely about to be his second death as well. So just going to be a further nuisance to set him back a bit more. Nuclear's gone. Yeah, he's just got to end it. He's still not even signed into Steam. Surely he could probably post it on Discord, right? He'll probably have Discord on his phone. He could probably message someone to say what the hell's going on. Unless he's a bit too busy at this point to worry about Discord. Which is very fair. It says he's in Discord. But, I mean, you can log in for Discord on your phone, like I was just saying. So him being on there doesn't really... Oh, it says he's playing Dota 2 in Discord. Is he actually got in there again? Yeah, he's got in there. He's loading up the game. So he should be back in it any second now. And then we'll... I mean, he's going to rejoin just to see himself die, which is real sad. Really, really sad. But, hey, it happens. Says let him survive. It's not fair, but there's literally an auto attack mid-air from Pompo, which is definitely enough damage to finish him off. Only got 49 HP, 20% physical damage reduction. Yeah, he's dead. Just so that right kick alone is going to be his end. So this is all just going to be down to whether Cat can actually survive. We're about to find out, but Sufkin instantly dead. Cat trying to run away. There is actually TP coming in here from the bat. He's going to try and help out as best as he can, but even still, they will actually get a return kill onto Mikkel at least. But they still lose the life of the Wraith King. And now Sarge going to get the consolation prize for finishing off the Bane. So they do net at least a couple of the supports off the back of that. Reese just being a pain. Guaranteeing the deny onto the catapult, which is fair. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Like Sarge did actually manage to find something off the back of that, so it wasn't a complete waste of his time. Brings him very, very close to finishing up his boots of travel. Only 150 gold, so after this next wave is done, he should have this item online. Actually making sure he gets the stacks off. Ultimate efficiency. But yeah, like I say, I'm very, very unfortunate there for Pompo. The fact that all those kills happened before his urn actually got delivered. He would have been really set up for a few more ganks because of that. And another pause here for Stuffkin. What is going on?
Sense distortion.
Is the internet dying? What's happening here? Oh my god, look at all these pre-programmed voice lines from Sarge.
Now the fight resumes.
You can tell this man is probably very, very salty to play with or against in pubs if it's not going his way. He'll just be spamming those like a motherfucker. I could just see it now. Oh dear. Still, there's actually a smoke here from Ash Teasy. I guess it was just to get some wards down. Does just find a cheeky kill onto Ligbank's courier for his troubles, which is nice. Still in the mid, Snuffkin was actually making a move onto Pompo, but the rotation comes in there from Personal. Tenno is actually going to be off the mark. But he was still, Snuffkin just making waste a few extra seconds before he inevitably ends up dropping. And Pompo did get that kill. And finally his first charges for the earner online now. So, could easily start roaming the map, looking for kills as best he can. Now he's actually going to start onto our Reese here. The EMP just about gets the connection, so all of his mana just gets completely removed. It's so horrible playing up against that at the early parts of the game. And this hero just purely relies on actually being able to use these abilities. Kind of redundant if he doesn't get the opportunity to. Tries to get the connection onto Ashtisi, he ends up missing. Not going to be enough of a response though from the rest of BelleStack to get a return kill. Meanwhile though, Chronosphere gets dropped from Dusk at the top lane. Pompo's also rotating up here. They're going to drop the EMP, and the skills have already been used there for the Wraith King, so he couldn't actually level his ult. Even if he did, he was still dead. Like, after popping the stick, only had 96 mana, so yeah, no matter what, even if he had the level up, wouldn't have made a difference. Meanwhile, in the mid, though, it looks like Cringe are trying to use this opportunity, the fact that they were missing, and they're going to make a move into the mid. Pompo will end up dropping this. Oh, will he? He drops down the Tornado, just delays it. He does still end up falling down. And they're not done yet. With the roll forwards from Reese, they get the connection onto Mikkel. Going to be a twofer. And they'd love to see if they can actually take down this tier 1 tower as well. Seems like they've got so many heroes in this mid lane, but it's still pretty damn healthy. It is a catapult wave though, so they will have that to help accelerate this push. Look, Ash TC was actually distracting them a little bit with the pickup of the Invis Ring. And so everybody's back up now for BelleStack. I'm sure they want to defend this tier 1 as best they can. And they're all TPing in now. Reese, oh, he tries to get the roll connection, but he didn't think Chrysler was the first one TPing in, so it actually gets delayed. Misses it completely. Ligman's out a bit separated, drops the wall, gets the connection to both the sports. He's still going to end up falling there, just holding back. Mikkel with the 2-man hook shot, gets a nice connection. The Tornado from long range just about clips onto Snuffkin as well. With the EMP, gets the clip, all of his mana's gone. The Fiend's Grip even dropped there onto Sarge. Then comes Reese to get the denial. Going to save his mid laner. Can they actually get the return onto him? Yes, they will. He will drop the Snuffkin, also falling in the backlines at the same time. Reese, though, going to drop down, but Chrysler's going to be able to get the return kill at least. And now Sarge, alone against 3 heroes. His Firefly's about to run out. Can he actually survive this situation? There's no Nightmare. There's no stun available for the Clockwork, so he can't just go for the safe TP away. So after all of that, it does actually end up being a 3 for 2, but a buyback onto the Bane there. But still, despite that, it is the golden XP advantage for BelleStack. Maybe just a bit more pressure applied to Ligbank. Always nice to see chaotic fights early on in the game. Good shenanigans. Makes for entertaining dotes. Still, Cap just trying to recover as best he can after his relatively disappointing laning phase. Is a full 1,300 gold behind the face Void at this stage into the game. He's already got his Javelin online, 1,300 away from having completed Maelstrom. And then with that and the Mask of Madness in conjunction, his farmer speed will 100% be a lot faster than that of the Wraith King. And they're actually going to go with him as a 3-man smoke now. They've got the Chronosphere available to use. They want to see if they can find a juicy kill. They might just settle for Ligbank here. I say settle, he's still a very high value one. Or maybe even Sarge, they're both grouping up. There is going to be a Tornado connection. And Sarge, yeah, he's gone for sure. No help for the rest of his team. Ligbank also getting caught into the cogs. Does get a nice 3-man wall. A lot of illusions being created. The rest of the team's actually coming in to try and turn the situation around, but I think they've just got themselves into a very dire situation. Reese will die. Maybe Mikhail will get traded off here from Cat. He's so close to falling. He's not even about to get the finish onto him. The Clockwork's going to survive as well. Not a single member of BelleStack ends up dropping down. Snufkin, even with his ultimate popped, couldn't finish anybody. So a very, very nice turn of events there from BelleStack. Forcing out a couple more big ultimates. And not hemorrhaging any losses at all. Bryson gets hit by the stun. Cats. Once again, the EP gets connection, trying to it all their mana. The Sergeant gets help out there from the Nightmare, but even so, he's probably going to be able to get the connection onto Ash TZ. He's got his Flaming Lasso, but he can't quite get close enough to use it. Another pushback from the Cogs. And BelleStack just keeping their line in the river nice and safe. Not allowing anyone on Cringe to gain any ground. Not convinced by the 1-1-3 build. Oh, later, another jump forwards here. Ligbank's getting pretty low. He's able to survive just barely there with the surge. Chrysler actually gets hit by the stun. Meanwhile, the back lines, Mikhail does actually get the finish onto him at least. Another Flame and Lasso will actually pick off Ash TZ at least. So it's a trade for now. Oh, the cocktail actually pushes Mikhail to the high ground. So there will be a 2-for-1 this time round. Let's see if Cringe are going to be able to successfully push into this tier 1 tower. Bryson's actually dragging away the creeps. A very nice move from him, actually. That should be able to keep this tier 1 tower alive, unless someone from the side of Cringe wants to tank it up. They got a couple of skeletons, but they're not going to last very long. Yeah, I think just that little move from Chryson's just kept tier 1 alive.
Such a limited imagination you have.
The Armlet is up for Cat. Trying to go in for the Desolator next. Just wants to go for that pure Bruiser build. Try and do as much damage as quickly as he possibly can. Which is best. It's what you sort of want to do up against the Face of Void. Try and burst him down as fast as possible in that initial stun. And just completely remove him from the fight. I mean, it's going to be difficult. There's quite a lot of CC for the rest of the squad to actually make a bit of space. Actually, Reese with the roll forwards. He does get a connection, but he couldn't get the kickback. And then still, the rest of the teams are going to get involved. There's going to be the connection there from Chrysler. They will finish off Reese. And now Ligbank's in a bit of trouble here. Stuck in the cogs. And out comes the Chronosphere from Dust. Gets the connection onto the bat and the Wraith King. The EMP also going to get the hit onto both of them. So no mana to play with. The Fiend Script guaranteeing the kill onto Sard. And Dust just charges it deep. The EP Remnant perfectly connects onto the Snufkin. It's another 4 kills for BelleStack. Not dropping anybody yet again. And just like that, it's a solid 4k advantage for them. Good to finish off this tier 1, which will probably bump it up to close to 5k, I would imagine. And this is already looking to be a real dire situation here for Cringe. Just all of these fights have not gone the way they wanted to at all.
Oh, this is the
I think when it comes down to actually 5 versus 5 fights, like, there is just a slight advantage for BelleStack, especially if the Chrono's up. But I mean, even still, it's not like Cringe have a bad team fight themselves. Like, they've got Vacuum Wall, they've got Magnetize, they've got Exorcism as well. Like, they do actually have a decent amount of team fight potential, but it doesn't really seeming to be able to do anything. Like, BelleStack are just duking out all these spells. Everyone's surviving with just a sliver of HP and able to turn the entire fight around.
Should look to their top tower.
Sarge just getting some stacks up. Unfortunately, doesn't get the initial stack. But even still, should be able to get a nice chunk of extra gold here.
There is little hope for Dire's middle tower. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is no
Oh, the tier 1 actually just falls to the skeletons alone from the Wraith King. No one defended it at that time.
Dire should look
A bit of a whoopsie. But even still, Cringe, they want to make something happen. They've got really good vision in this area. Like, completely just seeing everything that can happen inside the Radiant jungle.
Dire
Even actually could go for a smoke move. BelleStack have absolutely no idea this is going on. The only vision they got is on the complete opposite side of the map, all in the Radiant side. So both teams feeling comfortable in the opposition side. Oh, Mikhail actually breaks the smoke, drops the cogs. And it will completely negate this gank attempt here from Cringe. But he's actually just found Tryson just ambling through the jungle with the roll collection of the tornado. Maybe it can make some space, but no, it's not going to be enough. There was the vacuum just before the cyclone hit, which guaranteed the kill. I mean, that was very, very close to them surviving there. Maybe still, that's the void down for 35 seconds. They've got Exorcism as well to use. Maybe they want to try and take some objective. Either Roche or the tier 2. Looks like they're actually going to slowly push in for this tier 2. I don't know if they actually have the capabilities, even with this ultimate, to find this. It's a really difficult one to get at this stage in the game, especially seeing as it's only the Void Spirit is missing. Dire just better. Ah, you can't say it like that, War. Like, you got to be a bit more diplomatic about it. I wouldn't say they're better. This has been better positions, but actually now the smoke gets broken there from Mikhail. Was resap on the high ground. The flare will spot both the two supports. But even still, they're able to evade it. There is a hook shot there for Mikhail if he wants to try and go for something, but they've run out of vision. So they just can't keep chase. They will remove some of the vision though in their own jungle, but it doesn't even matter. BelleStack, they're just charging forwards. Thus leading the charge. They will at least get the quick pick off there onto Snufkin. And maybe just like that, they're going to go into the Roche pit. Dropping the Alacrity onto Dusk, let him just beat away. I mean, Faceless Void's pretty goddamn squishy though, so Roshan's hurting him quite a lot. Probably need someone else to tank this. There was actually a ward in the river that Snufkin placed just before he died, so they realised this is going on. He's actually going to buy back for this. So they're going to try and take this fight. The roll forward is there for Reese, and he kicks it back into the 3-man. Wall was fantastically placed. There was the silence of Dusk. He couldn't even drop his Exorcism. And now Snufkin jumping in for the side as well. Forces the Faceless Void away from the fight. Sarge trying to make some kills happen. Gets the kill onto Mikhail. Dusk just gets himself onto the high ground, barely there with the jump, but he's had to drop the chrono. Going to turn this around to Sarge. He's bit off more than he could chew, and he will end up falling down. Reese still tries to roll in, goes straight into the Ether Remnant. They're on the chase. The nice silence catches onto Cryson with the follow-up of the stun. They get the kill onto the Void Spirit. Dusk barely able to survive, and he gets himself out of there. Maybe Pompo and Ash Teasy might get caught. I don't think they realize Pompo is there. Now they will. They're going to turn with the EMP, connection to Snufkin and the Cold Snap. But he still Reese charges for this against the stun, but there's going to be a buyback here from the Void Spirit. Snufkin's already dropped down. Reese gets caught out as well from the buyback. So they just push their luck. Could have just settled with the victory they got, but now maybe they're going to throw it away. So they're still charging in. Mikhail, he's got the hookshot connection onto Cat. He's completely separated. Not going to be any help from anyone. And he is gone as well. So what started off to be a really good fight from Cringe, and it's just completely backfired. And even this, Nick Banky tried cutting the wave, and this is going to be the final notch into the death spree. So really, it does actually end up being a complete team wipe there, coming out from BelleStack. Even a technical dieback from the Death Prophet on top to boot. And the Roshan's also going to fall. Oh Christ, I think he's just found an even Sarge. Tried to come over to see if he could snipe it away, but the only thing that gets sniped is his own life. And it was so close to starting to go back. We see that little dip up where they pushed him out of the pit. They got a couple of kills, but it's like a dog with a bone. They just couldn't let go. Wanted more. And that is what they say in the game, ladies and gentlemen. Greed is feed. Oh, Ash Teasy getting some walls down. Will actually get the kill onto the Observer there. It's going to cost him his life, most probably. Unless he can actually go for some TP play. Or maybe if he, like, nightmared up the Earth Spray, he could have potentially gone for a TP. Who knows? But he was still... He was just making sure they maintained their vision superiority in this bottom part of the jungle. Mind you, there was actually a 3-kill streak. Fair chunk of gold just for Reese alone. I think... When was this axe picked up? Was that available in the last fight? I'm not actually sure. But now BelleStack, they've got that big old wombo combo of the Chronosphere and the Cataclysm. And the only one who can actually survive that is the Wraith King. I think everyone else would probably just insta-pop, right? Maybe not instantly, but they'll take a hell of a beating for it, for sure. But even still, BelleStack just going to pressure in this tier 2. No glyph available to delay this out. Easily secures it up. Take away the outpost as well. Looks like they will just fall back. I mean, they've still got this Aegis for another 3 minutes. So they'll probably just start working their way onto a different lane. I'm going to go for a 5-man smoke. Who's going to be the unfortunate soul that these lot bump into? Who's going to be the first kill? And it looks like, oh, Cats. It's the perfect target to find. He's even going to drop the EMP. The Ufremen actually a little bit off the mark there, so he's not getting the instant connection, but even still, he will end up dropping down. Does going to come out with this next live. The jump forward step, but he gets pushed away from the cogs. Linkbank tried to go for a big vacuum wall play, couldn't find it. Now the Cataclysm with the Chronosphere. It's just a massive amount of damage, and they all drop in a second. Fantastically played, coming out from BelleStack, even getting the kill on Therese in the sidelines. Sure, they lose their Void Spirit, but who gives a shit? They still took 4 heroes for 1.
Such a limited imagination.
And the combo actually went the other way around there. Like, Cataclysm started things off, and then the Chronosphere came out, but it still worked. They just didn't have the opportunity to react. And now 7k gold lead. Another like 1800 gold swing. 17.5. And Dusk is starting to get real goddamn fat now. BKB, which he didn't even have to use in that fight. Also with the Lincoln Sphere coming up as his next item by the looks. I suppose that'll save him against the Wraith King stun, the Flaming Lasso, and Soul Siphon. I think those are the only targetable abilities that they have. I mean, Sufkin's also got the Yules, mind you. So that would also block that. But I think the big ticket spell that he wants to be blocking is just the Flaming Lasso. But I don't know if he needs to really waste his money on it. It's really like someone else could just build it in for him and he could just carry on ramping up the DPS. Maybe even just go for like a Satanic. Just try and tank through it all. Who knows? But even still, it looks like Cringe moving at this big unit. Not actually smoked up though. I guess they don't even have a smoke available. Okay, they got one of the Sufkin now. I think it just got delivered there with the courier. But no one's here. Complete freedom. Just putting down more wards. They want to start playing up at this top part of the map yet again. I mean, they've got to be careful about that. They've not got their tier 2 in the bot or the mid. So really, BelleStack could just charge down one of these lanes and do a hell of a lot of damage and just force the entirety of Cringe back to their own base. But instead, they're going to go for a smoke move. The Rocket does actually scout out a couple of them. And they're going to keep charging forward. So there's going to be the ward there, which spots the smoke when it gets broken. But the hook shot's there from Mikkel. It denies the roll away. This Earth Spirit will just be a goner with the Battery Assault on top of him. How can he escape from this? He can't. Cat's actually going to try and turn around the Raki wall. It's onto 3 heroes. It's fantastically placed. Can they actually get a good fight out of this? There's going to be a Nightmare that keeps Pompo alive for a couple more seconds with the Exim on top of him. It just can't avoid it. He will fall. Ash TC also dropping down. There is going to be the Chronosphere. The buybacks abound. And actually, will drop the Cataclysm as well. It gets a connection onto Sarge on the side. It's another destructive fight coming out from BelleStack. It costs them 2 buybacks. But still, they take out another 4 heroes. All cores as well. Well, I say all cores, but Linkbank is the survivor. But even still, it's another big win. But now there is actually a slight window here for Cringe to get some work done. If they can actually get a pick off here onto Pompo, he will be gone for like a minute and a half at this stage. So possibly they can actually take out an objective or 2 if they can actually find this target. And that seems to be their main problem. They just can't quite get on top of anybody without the entire rest of BelleStack being there to bail them out. But Ash TC's need to go off BKB. This is not the position 5 Dota that you normally see. Your POS 5 rushing straight in for a BKB. Brown boots. You can't get a wand. Fair enough. Actually, it was already a fight breaking out. Can't even talk about that. The Flaming Lasso is going to be there, dragging back the voice here. He said there's just not that much damage. Cryson's just getting tickled. Now he's going to jump back on, see if he can get the connection onto anybody. He does actually stop between 4 people, but it doesn't even matter. He's a stand his ground, beating into everybody, takes out the illusion. They should be able to get this quick pick off here onto Sarge. Defense is going to be there. Cryson even just jumping onto the Death Prophet as well. Snufkin, the third one to fall. And they're not even done yet. Reese, he's going to get caught out. Did he buy back for this? No, he hadn't actually fallen down, but even still. 1 versus 4. Those are not good odds. Another 4 for nothing. Just cementing their lead even further in this game. Up to a full 11k now. What's Gaben saying the win rate is? 94%. The 6% is still, it's not too bad. I mean, it's bad. It's bad, but it's doable. It can be done. It's just Cringe. They're really relying on the perfect initiation, on the perfect target, in the perfect situation to actually start trying to bring themselves back into this game. But, I mean, it is looking bleak. It's a rough position to be in for sure. Even pushing onto the high ground now. The glyph was already used before the creep wave got here, so its backdoor protection ain't going anywhere. He can't beat into it. Dusk actually takes a fair bit of damage. With those silences, he can't just time walk back all of his HP. Very irritating thing to play against. Oh, vacuum. Pushes STC up onto the high ground here. He is stuck with the wall. He's actually going to be able to big AB TPL with the jump force of Dust, but he gets hit by the stun. He can't drop his chrono. It's actually allow everybody to disengage. The combo will get broken up, but even still, they find the kill onto Reese. Dust beats into Snufkin, takes out both of the supports. The rest of the team just keep it on top of the Bat Rider, whose BKB has now run out. Where's his escape going to be? Mikhail trapping in Catsy Cats as well. Sarge going to fall. Dust now going to work onto the Wraith Kings. Out of mana, but doesn't matter. He has the shards, which going to be able to keep himself alive. The Deafening Blast keeps back the Earth Spirit as well as Lickbang, but another vacuum into 3 of them, but Dust just time walks back his HP. Going to carry on beating the Wraith King. Can he do anything to survive? No, he can't. The Lincoln Sphere breaks the stun, keeps him alive. Reese charging forwards. He wants to find some sort of consolation kill, but he's going to be the kill himself and gives away a rampage. And that will be the ticket for Cringe to tap out of this game and call GG. Oh, Lickbang. Is there going to be a second rampage? Is the game going to end? Yeah, it's going to win. Damn. That was a real beatdown coming out there from BelleStack. I mean, it was looking like there could have been an opportunity at some point for Cringe, but BelleStack just really made that look one-sided, just on them left, right, and center. They weren't even relying on the Chrono Cataclysm to win the fights. It was just the icing on the cake when they eventually got the opportunity to use it. And then it really just felt rough for Cringe. So, GG to BelleStack, taking game number 1. Game number 2 will be coming up pretty damn soon. But if you guys have enjoyed this game, please think about following my Twitch and my YouTube. Any help I get, I thoroughly appreciate. And yeah, I'll see you all for game number 2 coming in about 10 minutes. I'll see you then.